Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Friday night interview or Saturday morning, depending on where you are. Hope you guys are all doing well. And look, somebody who is daring enough to actually show their face during one of my interviews. Welcome, Axeman, and thank you for granting me these interviews.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Let's see. Let's give it a few minutes. Welcome, everyone. Because I know that YouTube takes a while to let people know. Oh, hi, April. Mr. Shadow Walker.
Yeah, you should kick Shadow Walker out immediately
Why?
because he sucks at life.
But he's our fellow troll.
This-
He was very good at helping us troll that one kid in the shift.
Yeah, I'm just messing with you, buddy. I'm just messing with you, buddy. All right, don't get butt hurt.
Yeah, man. Hi.
There we go.
Oh
Now
my
it's
gosh. Let's see.
now it's a party.
Everyone's here for you.
There we go.
So popular. Look at you. Let's see. Okay.
I got like 12 million tabs open.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, at least you're prepared for the questions, right? You know the answers to them.
Yeah.
I'm just going to start asking you random questions like, what's the square root of 61? And see if you know the answer, since apparently you hold all the answers.
Well, as it just so happened, I was about to make him a pi calculation joke.
Oh, okay, then.
Can't
Feel
do it
free.
anymore.
Hi,
Can't do it
Fearjed.
anymore.
Oh my gosh, let's see. Okay. All right, everyone, we are going to get started with asking all the difficult questions about how Axeman decided to start drawing. So, Axeman, what inspired you to start animation and drawing?
Animation is something that I've always been into as a kid. Everybody was into stupid things like reality television. I must have been the only person in my age range to still watch Cartoon Network continuously. I used to watch shit like Flintstones, Jetsons, and what have you. I watched it to slowly evolve into the What a Cartoon Experience, which eventually gave way to shows like Cow and Chicken, Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken, and what have you. But before that, there was Nickelodeon. And Nickelodeon produced shows like Ren and Stimpy, which was like kind of like one of my biggest influences. That Angry Beavers and what have you. But I think one of the biggest influences and one of my biggest inspirations would probably stem as far back as the old days of MTV. They had this program, and I very, very loosely remember this. I just remember being inspired by said cartoons that they showcased, like Ion Flux, Beavis and Butthead, Bob the Head, the show called Cartoon Sushi. It was like this really, really trippy animation, and I absolutely adored it. And since then, I've just been drawing on and off my whole life, and basically my pictures had a tendency to just be really, really macabre in general. People would just turn around and look at me drawing in a notebook and be like, dude, what the hell's wrong with you? I'm like, what do you mean what the hell's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? Get out of here, you fuckhead. And so I think eventually with the inception of internet animation, there would come Flash series such as Salad Fingers by David Firth or Metal Gear Awesome by Ego Raptor. And that's the stuff that really, really inspired me. All right. Now, before I go too far into it, when I was in the 8th grade, I got an academic achievement award for this thing called the Slideshow Project. In my computer class, the teacher wanted us to basically nerf a program, it was a word program, alongside a drawing program. And what you do is you just put the drawings onto it, like images on a slide frame. And I must have been the only student in the class who went completely apeshit, right? The first thing I ever animated was the Earth exploding. Then the next thing was just a guy who fell from the sky, and then just everything bad that could happen to him did happen to him. A beehive fell on him, aliens attacked him, he got hit by a steamroller.
Wow.
And the teacher was so impressed by that he gave me a plaque.
Wow. And they never worried. I mean, your teacher never worried that it was something else, because I know that's a problem that creative minds have in school that, oh, there must be something wrong with you if you're drawing these things.
People had fucking spines back then.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you still belong to our generation rather than now.
Yeah, so like I remember there was a time where I was we all got drunk at a party, right? And this girl I was dating, me and her were watching episodes of Beavis and Butthead. And I was leaning forward and I was just like watching all the cycles they were using. And I remember just turning to her and saying, dude, seriously, I could do this. I have the ability to do this. And like a week later, I grabbed the program and then I just started. Haven't looked back since.
Oh, wow. And what got you started with the channel? What just made you decide that you were going to start streaming on your channel what you draw?
Streaming on my channel?
Yeah. Streaming your animations.
Oh, my channel, because animation takes forever to do, it's likely that if you subscribe to my channel, you're essentially subscribing to a rock floating around in the ocean. Yes, I know rocks don't float, but you know what I mean. You're subscribing to something that has little to no activity. Especially since every time I finish a project, I don't upload it on my own channel. It goes to someone else's channel. So there has to be some activity. So why the hell not streaming?
Okay. Was that the initial intent of your channel?
You got to understand that my channel is 5 years old.
Yeah, I noticed you're one of the few lucky ones who have the actual URL.
Huh. I didn't even think about that. What does that mean?
We don't, for example, my URL has the C/Margbot, whereas yours, I think, is just youtube.com/user/sargumphagus. We don't have the user one. We get some lame C in there. So that means that to my understanding, it means you've had your channel a while.
My baby boy.
Yeah, exactly, your baby boy. That's why I wondered, what the original intent for your channel was, or if it was always animation.
There's a very organic process to all of this, and oh my god, I'm gonna try and trace it. I'm gonna trace the journey.
Okay, let's do this.
All right, so you got to understand that when I first started Axeman cartoons, I had no idea that there was such a thing in the world such as creepypasta. Never heard the word, never even knew that there were narration channels. Sure as shit knew nothing about any horror communities. I knew jack shit about anything, right? So what's really funny is me and all of my friends, we have a tendency to just poke fun at something, just like an observation of something in our immediate surroundings. We'll point that out, and then we'll just start joking about it, and then the joke will pile, and it'll pile, and it'll pile. Before you know it, you have the world's most ridiculous situation. So originally, I started my channel to specifically animate said situations. Now, before I started animating, I started like creating customized memes on Microsoft Paint, and then little by little, those memes started turning into actual art projects that I would upload onto a DeviantArt account. And then before I knew it, I was animating. And it started with Doom Conditioner. It started with a bunch of video game parodies, Disney movie parodies, and then I started a project called Economy Man, which is more geared towards just like self-pleasing nonsense, like just jokes that only I got. And if anybody else enjoyed it, all the power to you. But if you don't, I'm sorry. Move on with your life, I guess.
As long as it makes you happy.
Yeah. Like I remember my roommate came up to me. He's like, "Dude, I got this awesome idea for a cartoon, and I want you to make it." I'm like, "What's that?" And then he explains to me the premise of Golf Rage. I'm like, "Dude, what? You seriously want me to animate that?" He's like, "Yeah, man, do it." I'm like, "All right, fine." So I made Golf Rage. Clear my name. That wasn't my idea.
There you go. Everybody knows now. Was not his original idea, guys. Okay.
As it turns out, I'm not that brilliant.
Well, I beg to differ. I've seen your animations. And on that note, I have a comment. Did you see all the theories that people came up with in regards to shift and what it meant?
There was one guy who actually got it. I know when it was uploaded on Let's Read's channel, a lot of people were complaining because they didn't understand it. And
Well, some people, because I knew the original storyboard you came up with. Some people are like, she was an addict. You see the pills on her dresser and all this, and then some people are like, oh, this is an allegory for this, this, and this, and I'm just like, what? That's not. I don't know.
but,
I don't
but
know. People
I,
just
I don't know. I openly embrace that. I think that's absolutely awesome. If it makes people think, then I consider myself in my job done. You know, I think
that is true. That is true. If it makes people think, and it's so open to interpretation that people come up with these far off ideas. I think as an artist, you did your job. But to me, it was amusing because, like I said, I knew your original storyboard. So I was just like, wow, this stemmed from this one idea. But it was
no,
definitely amusing.
you ever see that movie Ghost with what's his name? Oh God, what was the actor's name?
I know who you're talking about. I've seen the movie. He's dead now. I think he died of cancer.
Poor fella.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So
Patrick Swayze. That's what it is,
Patrick.
Patrick Swayze.
There we go. Patrick fucking Swayze. God rest
Yeah.
his soul. Um, yeah, though there was a part when the bad guy got killed, and then like a bunch of shadowy creatures with really fucked up noises come out of the ground, and they pull the guy out of the way to help. That's where I got the idea for Shift.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There
So
was, there
how
was
long have you had this idea?
Well, you got to understand that I made 2 sentence horror stories for Let's Read, and the second story is the exact same thing as Shift. With 2 sentence horror stories, I originally wanted the second story to be the last one, where it would be the premise of Shift. But the last one, I heard it too. Had to take prominence over that because it just had more intensity to it. So that had to be the headliner. But
Gotcha. Okay.
since then, I've been wanting to remake number 2 anyway. So Rainbow Horror did her showcase thing, and I thought, you know what, fuck it, this is a good opportunity to do it. It'll be good to break up the monotony of doing things for other people's channels anyway. So let's take a stab at it. Maybe reestablish my motivation.
I see. All right. Since you started narrating, what do you feel has been your biggest obstacle?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that question?
Since you started animating, what has been your biggest obstacle?
I would say the program itself, my limited knowledge in art, which I have been improving on drastically, especially with Rageful Realm. Rageful Realm offered me a great opportunity to study human anatomy because it's all stills. The program itself seems to have a drastic series of limitations, especially in frame by frame. But as the program continues to update, they added something called FBF layers. That stands for frame by frame, which is the traditional way of drawing. And I'm just going to say that the biggest obstacle for me is just, myself and my own limitations, which naturally are being overcome in a very organic and healthy way. So give me some time. Give me some time, and I will cross that barrier.
All right, then. What have you been most satisfied with?
I like to think that every project that I finish, I'm most satisfied with that one. And then I read the comments, and I'm like, god damn it. And then, but I mean, every project that I do, when I finish it, I say, you know what, I'm satisfied with this, got to move on. I'm not going to stew on it. I'm not going to look at all of my prior projects and try and pick a favorite out of all of them. I mean, there was a quote from this guy some time back. He said, it's better to say that the best that you ever did is ahead of you than it is behind you.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good quote.
Yeah. So with that mentality in time, I don't choose favorites among my own accomplishments.
Okay, so I will remove that question then. If you could go back and redo any of your animations because it's really something really bothered you or you feel you really could improve upon it, is there one that comes to mind?
The ending of Shift, the girl drowning inside the mirror. I ran out of time. And I ran out of patience.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that you were just done.
Yeah, because I had 6 days to make that, which is a very tall order. But
Yeah.
I managed to get it done with about an hour to spare within the headline.
Yeah, I remember there was a lot of pressure on that because of the time crunch.
Yeah.
And I don't know usually how long animations like that take, but I figured it was a very short notice for something like that.
Yeah, I mean, Shift was supposed to be there was supposed to be more elements into it. Like for instance, when the thing comes out and grabs her and yanks her into the mirror, there was going to be like this big fucking struggle where the girl actually manages to get her footing, and like the monster just gets right into her face and starts shrieking into her face. I have this messed up sound that she was making, which you hear very briefly, but I could have taken that to such an uncomfortable level that it would just like hurt the viewer to watch it, which is something that I wanted to do. I wanted to hurt your head, but it was just a question of timing. And then the second thing that needed to get done was the fact that when she gets pulled into the mirror, right, like her body is eviscerated and destroyed, and all that's left is her soul. Hence why she's naked, because she's literally in her stripped down spiritual form, which takes after her own physical appearance, and she's in the mirror. And basically the premise of Shift was that she blew her brains out. Reasons open to interpretation, and she woke up perceiving her life as normal, but really the thing inside her mirror was her personal wraith, ready to drag her to her own personal damnation. And one of the things that she feared the most was drowning. So her damnation was to drown forever. And she was supposed to drown. It was supposed to just be her writhing inside the mirror, drowning for a good like 30 to 40 seconds, enough to try and elicit like a kind of like make the audience want to like grasp their throat. But it was challenging, and I ran out of time, and I couldn't finish it.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I remember, the idea that you came to me with, and I'm like, that's a great idea, but like I said, I figured it would be too short notice for you. And I mean, I'm not even in that, I guess, in the animation world, and I figured it would be a lot to accomplish in such a short time span. What inspired your channel name, the Axeman cartoon?
Oh, it's a very fun, remarkable story, and I'm lying to you. It's actually a really boring story. I was trying to learn the program, and I wanted to know how to put sounds into the projects because I didn't know how to do that. So I look up a bunch of tutorials, I find out how to do it, and then I hit the next obstacle. I realized I have no sound clips on my computer, not a single one. Okay, so I'll record myself. No, I can't do that either because I got no microphone. Oh. I did, however, have a shitload of music, and all the artists were alphabetized. The albums within were alphabetized, and the songs within the albums were alphabetized. Now, the first band on my list was a band called Amoebics, and the first album that they had on the list was Arise, and because the songs were alphabetized as well, the first song was Axeman. Now, that song opens up with the guy screaming, Axeman! And so it's just a clip of a character just doing something random with that clip playing over. I called my roommate in. I'm like, yo, get in here and look at this thing I made. He comes in. He's like, oh, wow, this is a thing you can do. That's pretty cool. And then the Axeman clip played, and he chuckles and goes, Axeman cartoons. And he just turned around and walked out of the room.
Well, then.
That name struck a chord with me. 2 weeks later, I made Doom Conditioner. I made my channel Axeman Cartoons. I uploaded it and just been going from there.
Oh, that is a good story, though. I mean, it's not like, oh, I just found it somewhere and that's it. Like, there's an entire story behind it. So don't sell yourself short.
What? I was thinking about telling you that I was kidnapped on a internship in China, and was forced to make propaganda films in North Korea. And when Kim Jong-il met his demise, I was able to slip out in the confusion. I had to pull an axe off the wall and fight my way out of the state. I got my leg blown off by a landmine, and I needed something to walk on. So I still had the axe, and I rammed it into the stump, and now I have an axe leg.
Then I'd say, let me see. That's what I would say, and then you wouldn't be able to prove it. So I'd say you're lying.
Well, they made me turn it. They made me turn it in through customs. They said that it set off too many metal detectors, so I had to get rid of it.
Oh, well,
then my leg magically grew back.
Yeah. Okay, I'd believe that. I'd believe
Mhm.
that. What inspired your logo? Because I mean, obviously there's the axe in the back. What about the skull?
Okay. All right. So where do I start with this one? Axeman cartoons went through a great deal of they went through a great deal of avatars. When I first started, I didn't give two shits about an avatar. So the first one was just a picture of like an irradiated rabbit with like an insect for with an insect eyeball, and that was just my avatar because it just happened to be on my computer at the time. Um, and it was that was the logo for the longest time. And then when I started animating, the very first image I made was a guy who had a smarmy smile and just really off-putting features. He was it, right? And then eventually, what wound up happening was I met up with Let's Read, which was a funny story in and of itself. And I realized, okay, he's going to showcase my two-sentence horror story thing on his channel, our collaborative effort. And I realized that I'm a guy without any real, without a structured channel in any way, shape, or form. So I need to come up with a logo. And the Axeman cartoons like font is actually my own handwriting. Like I have chicken scratch for handwriting, and I decided to openly embrace that. I remember my English professor back when I went to college. At one point in time, when he handed me back an essay I had to write for a test, he turns to me and goes, "Peter, one day you're going to be famous for your handwriting alone." I'm like, "I'm going to hold you to that, motherfucker."
Hey, you're on your way.
I wonder how that guy's doing.
Okay, all
I
right
bet he's
then.
dead. And so, anyways, I needed a new avatar, right? So like, I noticed that Let's Read had the Dead Spaceman, and
Uh-huh.
the only other channel that I knew in existence that was similar was that guy MCP, and his avatar is that blue guy with the things coming out of his face. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I guess I got to do something like that. But if I'm gonna do something like that, I'm gonna fucking mock you guys. I'm gonna do something at your expense. So my avatar originally was going to be a big fat guy wearing no shirt, sweaty, covered in body hair, and he had like these
Uh,
disgusting mutton chops. He was just smoking a cigarette.
why'd you do that to us? Why?
You know, just because I'm making fun of you doesn't mean I hate you. I'm just busting your balls.
Fair enough.
Eventually, I got sick of that. I thought it was stupid, and I just switched to a symbol. You just got to go symbol. The axe and skull and axe bones with the silhouette of the dude in the within the image. It was simple. It was perfect. I liked it. It doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't need to be too profound. Simplicity. Sometimes less is just more.
That's true because I mean, you see that around the community, and we all know it's you.
Hmm.
Okay. Any improvements you are hoping for in the near future here?
I just want to continue to improve upon the human anatomy. I was thinking about taking courses, going to locations where people take off their clothes and I just draw their fucking bodies. Uh, those exist, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
But in reality, I'm probably not going to do that. I'm just gonna keep on trying to improve. With Rageful Realm, that thing I'm doing for Unit 522, that right there is a very powerful opportunity to improve on the human anatomy because you'll notice with other projects that my grasp on the human body is kind of garbage. The characters kind of look ridiculous. When people comment, they have a tendency to point out how crude the humans look, and some people say that works. I say it doesn't. I need to improve. So I'm just gonna keep on practicing, keep on getting my grip, my grasp on that.
Okay.
But like I said earlier, everything has a natural flow to it, and I'm just gonna keep riding that flow.
Yeah, I mean, you know what you want out of yourself, so,
Hmm.
so who cares what other people think? Just
Yeah,
you're on your own growth. Huh? Sorry, go ahead.
first and foremost, the person that I choose to appease is myself. You can call that selfish, but it's if you animate if you animate or just produce content or just do anything for the sole intention of trying to please as many people as you can, that road will lead you to madness. You want to try and do it to fulfill yourself. You want to challenge yourself. You want to do accomplishments that mean shit to you, not to everybody else. And everything else theoretically should just fall into place.
Yeah, it's true. And I think that's true out of life too. I mean, like you said, it may sound selfish, but at the end of the day, you're the only being that's always with you, is yourself. So you got to try and make yourself happy.
Yeah, yeah.
If you could meet any two narrators from this community in person in the next 12 months, who would they be and why?
I'm gonna go with Let's Read and Horror with Heidi. And reason being is because I actually am going to meet them in August.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yep, we're all gonna go to a concert. We're gonna go to a barbecue, and we're all just gonna get drunk together and have a good time.
That's awesome. How long have you known Let's Read for?
Like about a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's a funny story. So eventually I found out that creepypasta was a thing that existed. So I tried my hand and I wrote one called "The Chanting in the Woods." And a bunch of people read it, and I found out about Let's Read because he actually took it upon himself to read that story. So I subbed to his channel. One day I was really interested in cult stories specifically, and I wanted to just look up videos explaining the mentality that goes into what happens to the minds of people in cults, how they slowly lose their agency and lose the ability to think for themselves. And Let's Read had a video. At the end of the video, he breaks character and goes, "Hello, Let's Read here. I want to showcase your stuff. If you have artwork or animation, or you want to start your channel, you reach out to me." I'm like, okay. So I sent him a comment. Just wrote, "I animate." Just saying, and I figured that's that. I'm just gonna move on with my life. Day later, I get a message from him. "Axeman, do you want to do a project with me?" I'm like, yeah, fine.
Let's Read has that silky smooth voice. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and when the smoke cleared, I was in this horror community network that I didn't know existed 2 hours prior to finishing it.
And now you're stuck with us.
Yeah, but me and Let's Read have had like a couple of heart-to-hearts during the process of making it. I mean, me and him, we get along really well. So, I mean,
that's awesome. So you got a friend out of it too.
Yeah, I don't call myself his friend for the sake of star fucking him or anything like that. I'm not a star fucker at all. But the guy is a legit decent fella, and I look forward to meeting him.
That's good. I look forward to hearing stories because I'm sure there will be a lot of stories.
And I look forward to meeting Horror with Heidi as well because I mean, we out of all of like during the stream, I was able to develop a network of really close friends, and while the streams don't really happen much anymore, we all still talk. It's me, Miss Monster, Mr. Shadow Walker, Carrie Temporary, and Horror with Heidi, and we have a tendency to hang out every night, watch movies on Skype. It's a good time.
Okay, yeah, that brings me to my next question. We were talking about this a little bit before the stream started. Crazy sub occurrences, and I think that ties in with your streams not being as often anymore.
Yeah. Where do I even start? Okay, so one time this guy comes on and he tells me I'm going to shoot up my school tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah. And I realized that there was absolutely nobody on my there was nobody in my stream except for me and this guy, and he was saying he was going to do that. And I'm just like, you should refrain from saying such stupid shit on my stream, pal. But he wouldn't stop doing it, and he would just keep spamming absolute nonsense. He would start spamming racial slurs and you name it. And then eventually, I gave Mr. Shadow Walker mod power, and he gave the guy the boot. then he comes on to he comes in with another account and says, "Hey, I heard my brother was on here talking shit." It's just like, dude, really? Are you kidding me?
Classic. I'm somebody else related to that other person.
It's like, what do we look stupid to you?
People, I tell you.
We got the word "fuck" written right on our foreheads. All right, but that's one. I'll tell you another one, and I'm not going to name this guy's name because fuck him. He comes on, right, and he starts asking me questions about salad fingers, what my personal theories are on them, and this, that, and the other thing, and I answer. Now, you got to understand that this is like one of my second streams that I've ever done. Right, so you could bet your ass that I was awkward as hell. Right? Like I had no idea because like I'm talking to a computer screen and I'm responding directly to words on a screen, and I didn't know how to conduct myself. So there was a lot of stuttering, there was a lot of stammering, and I was just like, yeah, I think that the salad fingers is about survivor post-apocalyptic war. And like the guy just kept on asking me, and he says something absolutely convoluted and says, "What do you think of that?" I'm like, "I have no idea what you're talking about, man." The guy's like, "Oh, cool, thanks for answering my questions. BT Dubs, this was an interview." I'm like, "What?" 2 weeks later, I notice I see something in the corner of my thing of my recommended videos. Exclusive interview with Axeman. I'm like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
I thought I had the exclusive. You promised me.
This is our first. This is my first consensual interview.
Okay, fair enough. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this guy totally ninja interviewed me.
And what did you actually watch the video? What did it say? What happened?
Well, I went into the comments section. I'm like, wow, you know when you get ninja interviewed and don't even realize it? And I think Shadow Walker went in there and gave him some shit. Every time the guy kept on coming up the streams afterwards, and every time he does, we just make fun of him.
Did he end up taking it down?
No, it's still up.
Oh my god, that's awkward as hell.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
So, what is your theory on salad fingers?
I don't even have one.
I actually happen to have a painting that a good friend of mine drew of Marjorie Stewart Baxter and Hubert Cummerdale and Jeremy Fisher. I'll have to send you a picture. But yeah, she handed it, and it's amazing. But you know, I think you were right. I think it was a post-apocalyptic survival thing.
Well, what I really like about Salad Fingers was the fact that David Firth, who is one of my favorite animators, he is single-handedly the push that gave me the will to actually try and put my shit out there. And if you actually watch my earlier animations, you're actually going to notice a lot of comparisons to David Firth's style. But what I really appreciate about David Firth's approach to animation is that he leaves his story completely open-ended. You know, he provides you with a bare minimum of what's going on. He puts like so many details and so many clues in the background for you to paint your own picture. And I feel like that's the best way to go about it. You know, like that's how you cater to the thinking man.
Yeah, you leave it up to interpretation.
Yeah, but most people don't want to think, which is why people don't like certain things.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. People are lazy nowadays, unfortunately. So I have to ask though, what did you major in college?
Well, originally what I was going to do is I was just going to do a liberal arts transfer, and I was going to try and major in English.
Dun, dun, dun. Hence your eloquent lexicon over there. All has been revealed.
I instead just settled for a liberal arts degree, associates, and just said, screw it. I actually have a job that sustains my ability to live my life. I have, I have a bare minimal college degree. But, where I am right now, I'm perfectly satisfied with the way my life is going. So, I don't regret it. I got no college debt or anything like that. I paid for my college experience directly out of pocket by working full time alongside, taking advantage of tuition reimbursement programs and what have you.
Oh.
So, you
That
know,
was a smart thing to do, definitely. And you, I will tell you this: I majored in English, and you have there's a lot more words in your bag, to put it in layman's terms, than there are in a lot of kids who actually have an English degree. So I was impressed by that.
I would imagine that like experiencing an English class nowadays, you're just surrounded by all these pretentious kids who think that they're going to be the next H.P. Lovecraft or next William Shakespeare or next this, that, or the other thing, and you're just sitting in the corner, just like going, "Oh my God, you guys are fucking morons."
Yep, that's
And
exactly how it
you're
was. Either
you're
that or they want to be teachers.
why? Why would you ever want to be a teacher?
Yeah, I mean, everyone assumed that
Especially
because go ahead.
especially in this day and age, you know? It's just I hear nothing but horror stories.
Yeah, most people just assumed that I wanted to be a teacher because I majored in English, and I said no. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I would be a professor at a university level, but I wouldn't be a high school teacher or anything like that. And that's what most of the people in the major ended up doing. They became, just regular grade school teachers. And I'm like, no, thank you.
I mean, I went to English because I wanted to be a writer. You know, I wanted to write. I've been writing my whole life. Like my first book I made, the first book I ever made, which is just a bunch of pieces of paper stapled together. I made my dad write the story for me, and I just told him what to write.
That's the way to do it.
The story
Make
made
somebody
no
else
sense.
write it for you.
Yeah, my dad is the original ghostwriter of Axeman. No, no, but I mean, like, if you want to be a writer, just read books, read all the books, and don't just stick to the topic that you want to Don't just stick to the topic that you want to be a good writer in. Read as many things as you can. You know, if you want to write more, if you want to write more like a witty person, maybe, but you want to write witty horror, then you're not going to get that out of horror. For the most part, most horror books I've read, they play it straight. Margaret woke up one morning and she saw that her bathroom door was open. She distinctly remembered closing it. Right, but like, if you read a story by, like, let's say Chuck Palahniuk, who is one of my favorite authors,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna get something more akin to, and I'm gonna ad lib this, by the way, that might not work out in my favor. So here goes. Margaret woke up. Her head felt 3 times too small. Drinking with I don't know, insert name here, will have that effect on you. And as she opened her bedroom door, the first thing she noticed was that her bathroom door was open when it should have been. I'm sorry, I can't do this. I can't do this. I have to actually. I can only do it. I swear to God, I can only do it if my hands are over a keyboard. If my hands are over a keyboard, I can fucking rock your world. But I can't verbalize.
No, I'm the same way. I completely agree. I understand where you're coming from. I don't know if it's a writer thing because I'm like a noob writer, an amateur writer, and I am much better at typing things, writing things down than I am explaining them verbally. I'm not sure why. Maybe there's a disconnect there, but
It
definitely better
totally
in
is.
word.
Well, I mean, I would imagine that the brain essentially functions in different ways. Your hands are on a keyboard. You plan out the sentence, then you write said sentence. And
Mm-hmm.
if you can enter that flow, then God bless you. But when you actually verbalize it, you're essentially partaking in a completely different function altogether. You're telling your mouth to move, and it's just maybe your brain is just not acclimated to it. I know mine isn't. But if you get my hands over a keyboard and you just give me 5 minutes, I will come up with the most convoluted sentence structuring you could ever imagine. Case in point, the more smarter version of Shift, I only took me 3
More
minutes.
smart enough. Correction. More smart enough version.
Hey,
That hurt my brain. Oh my God.
I don't know. It kind of elevated my mood a bit. I love it. I love it when morons start giving me shit, because like when they start telling me that I suck in broken English, I'm just like, okay, if it was a legit criticism, I would be down to just sit down, have a conversation with you, because there is there's room to explore here to see. If you want to see me improve in certain things, I will explore that with you. But if you straight up tell me that I suck, I'm going to make fun of you. And we're going to have a good time with you.
Totally agree. I completely agree. That was a fun troll. Not gonna lie. I don't
Oh
often
man,
partake in trolling, but that was a good one.
that was one of many. There was this one guy that comes on my the video. The 2K sub count cowboy has been dispatched, and the guy just said, "Her video is shit." No, to this day, I don't understand why people write "you are" instead of "why" or
Oh
"you are."
yes, it hurts my
It's
brain.
yeah, it
It hurts my brain.
gives me fucking conniptions. All right,
Yeah, same here.
I can't deal with it. Right, so so like. But that guy had a tendency to frequent my streams and like interact with us, and I'm just like, okay, all right, buddy. Are you serious, or are you being an asshole right now? I don't know, but all I know for sure is I want to come to your house and I just want to fall asleep on your couch.
How random of you.
You know what, dude? It's his fucking problem now. He can figure it out. I put it out there. I put it out there. If it
Did he
confuses
respond?
him, if it confuses him, fuck it. It's his problem. As George Carlin once said, you don't want to deal with an asshole like that.
Fair enough. Yeah, you're quite the fun troll. I will give you that. Always.
This one
Sorry,
guy says to me, "Her videos are so fucked up. Why?" And so I reply, "Oh, you know, ... because," and he replies, "Shut up." What?
People make no sense now.
So I reply, "No, motherfucker, you shut up. Get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit." And he's he's like, "Whoa, bro, you better calm the fuck down, man. You know, I just asked you a question." And it's just like, dude, buddy, I am the apex of chill, right? I have attained Dharma, right?
I have attained Dharma. Wow.
And then some guy comes in, another guy comes in and says, again, you are both stupid. Both of you shut up. And so I had to break down and just reply, what is it with you idiots in saying instead of your? And then this guy's all like, oh, it's good to see that big YouTubers. I'm a big YouTuber all of a sudden, huh? I'm big.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because 2K is equal to that of 1 million. Right.
Huge,
yeah, 2K is pretty big. I guess it's all relative, but I mean.
Yeah, I mean, you're a lot bigger than I am. You're huge.
I'm satisfied with 2K, honestly. I don't need to grow anymore. Hence the 2K sub count cowboy.
Oh
I think the bigger my channel gets, the weirder it's going to become. So I'm going to settle for 2K. But yeah, then the guy gave me shit. He's like, yeah, big YouTubers lashing out at their fans. That's nice. I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit about you. You came on here and you insulted me. You're fair game for trolling. The guy's like, unsubbed. I'm like, don't let the hypothetical door hit you on the way up, motherfucker. Remember? I'm gonna say that I said the same thing to him that I say to all of my detractors. Have a nice life. Always remember, be nice to animals and wash behind your ears.
Sin said, I kind of want to see how weird it gets, Axeman, and I kind of do too. As long as it's not like really awful, like creepy weird.
Like, you can't out weird me. All right, I am the master of weird. All right, I have been weird my whole life. Even when I tried to be normal, people called me weird.
I think most people in this community are pro at being weird. Just gonna throw that out there. Most of the narrators are all weird folk.
But I mean, like, weird is interesting.
It is.
There's nothing wrong with being weird.
It is. I have no problem with being weird. I have no problem with being weird whatsoever. Normal is boring, guys. Okay, everybody. Do
you want to be the guy that leaves the lasting impression, good or bad, or do you want to be the guy?
Be weird. Be different. You have to be different in order to leave a lasting impression. You're not going to be. You're not going to stand out if you're just normal. Any last words, Axeman, that you want to leave your subscribers with?
I'm saying no to all collaborations, so don't ask. Saying no to all intros. I'm going to make a special exception for you, Margbot, because of your contribution.
You're so sweet.
But yeah, sometime in the future, I'm going to make an original web series called Elsewhere, and as soon as all of my collaborations are over and done with, that's going to be the center of my attention. And that being said, there's going to be a need for voice actors. If I can find them, that's cool. If I can't, then fuck it. I'll just do I'll do all the voices myself if need be.
Pretty sure you can find them in the community.
Exactly. So there's some opportunity. The Axeman will have work for you. Probably sometime
Okay.
next year.
I would happily volunteer.
Great, you're hired.
Shells wants your last few words to be a song. She wants you to sing a song. And you did say you would sing for us.
What do you want me to sing?
Your favorite ballad.
All right, here we go.
I knew you were going to do something like that. That was it? Really?
All right.
I said ballad, not
All right, this is
metal.
this is a cover version of a Neil Young song,
Okay.
and I'm probably gonna butcher it,
Okay, it's fine.
but I got no shame. All right.
Okay, it's fine. We're ready.
This is called Cortez the Killer, and I'm probably gonna forget the lyrics, by the way.
Okay.
All right, so it goes nothing. Yeah, as I break my fucking window.
Ah, that was cold.
He came dancing across the water with his galleons and guns, looking for the new world in that palace in the sun. On the shores lay Montezuma with his cocoa leaves and pearls. In his hall he often pondered with the secrets of this world, and his subjects gathered round him like the leaves around a tree. They dressed in many colors for the angry gods to see, and the women all were beautiful, and the men stood straight and strong. The people worked in sacrifice so that others could go on. Hate was just a legend, and war was never known. The people worked in sacrifice, and they carried many stones. They carried them to the flatland, but they died along the way. But they built up with their own hands what we still can't do today. And I know that she's living there, and she loves me to this day. I still can't remember when or how I lost my way. Oh, he came dancing across the water. Cortez, Cortez, what a killer. He came dancing across the water. Cortez, Cortez, what a killer.
Oh, snap. So when is the album dropping?
As soon as I as soon as I learn how to sing.
Clearly, that's not that much of a problem. I mean, everybody just got their lighters out and we're waving them in the air. Look at the chat. Not even kidding.
I didn't even look at the chat not once this whole interview.
Oh my gosh, you should look at the chat. Oh my gosh. Harry, you do not want me to sing. Trust me, that is something I was not graced with. Let's see. Welcome, Phantom of Darkness. All right, guys, you got your song from Axeman. It was beautiful. Brought a tear to my eye, as I'm sure it did to many of you. All right, everyone. Well, I have to call it a night. And thank you so much, Axeman, for joining me on this magical journey of listening to you sing. And thank you for granting me this interview.
Hey, thanks
And
for having me. I had fun.
and I'm glad this is your first consensual interview.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. And
yeah.
I hope everybody in the States, I think most of you are in the States, have a safe and happy 4th of July / Independence Day weekend. And if you have a 4-day weekend, then lucky you.
Hey,
Um,
I do.
Me too. But yeah, remember to stay safe out there, guys, especially if you're going to be on the roads, because this is actually one of the, worst weekends to be driving.
Yeah,
So
amateur
take,
night. Definitely amateur night. A lot of people who aren't used to drinking and driving, they're going to be out there in force. So just keep that in mind. And also, if you light a firecracker, do not close your fist around it. You're going to lose your hand.
yep, please don't.
In,
Please be safe around fireworks.
in addition, remember to wash behind your ears and to be nice to animals.
Exactly. All right, guys, have a good evening and thank you for joining us. And if you have not checked out Axeman's channel, please do so. I have linked his channel below. Have a good evening. Bye.